a world champion joining us now in Eric McCabe, EMac. So great to see you. Let's start with a few of the, we'll say, logistics, housekeeping almost. Of course, this is your backyard, literally your backyard. What role are you playing this week in terms of being a competitor, which we're going to talk about, but also in terms of dynamic discs and the tournament and the staff and everything else? What hats are you wearing?
Competitor. That's about it. That's about it this week with the Masters Worlds going on. I did help my normal painting of the OBs on a handful of courses, mainly out at Champions Landing, and then a couple of the courses out of town, and helped Jackie a little bit early on with some formats and layouts and those kind of things. But yeah, man, I don't envy those people right now with the scrambling that has to be going on with the Cottonwood River coming up and flooding into Peter Pan, and Olpe obviously getting flooded out as well. So yeah, this week I'm a competitor this week, and I'm excited about it.
Well, and that maybe just perfectly segues into how serious are you taking this World Championships, knowing you've taken off a few of those other hats that you typically wear?
Dead serious, Terry. No, just kidding. I'm not at all. I'm not serious at all. Are you kidding me? I think it was a couple years ago at this point when I found out Worlds is going to be here for Masters, and I'm like, you know what? I hadn't been playing. If you go look at my PDGA, I think I played one Flex Start C tier at midnight in Alaska at 1 year, and then last year I actually went out and played some A tiers under MP40 and had some success. I mainly did it so I can qualify for this, get points, and get in the real way and not just say, hey, can I get into this? But I had some success in those A tiers. I think I finished second in the first one by a stroke down in Texas, and then I won the rest of them. So I had some success last year, and as far as taking it serious, I've been playing some golf the last couple of weeks, if that's taking it serious, going out and playing some practice rounds and those kind of things. As far as expectations go, I don't really have any on my shoulders at all. MP40 is great, and I would love to have an MP40 world title. Don't get me wrong, if it comes down to it, as soon as we hear that start whistle or as soon as my name is called on that first tee, it'll be serious. I'm a competitor at the end of the day. So, but I'm not like living and dying competitive disc golf right now. So for me, it's if I go out and win this event, I'm going to be stoked. If I go out and have a great time, I'm probably going to be even more stoked.
Well, and you just kind of recapped some of the research I did. You could add up the last 4 or 5 years of your sanctioned play, and it doesn't even equal what you did just this year. So yeah. I kind of take that as your practice and your prepreration in a sense, right?
Last year, not this year. I haven't played a sanctioned event this year. I played doubles, if that counts. But no, I haven't played a whole lot over the last few years, and got back into it last year and had a great time playing some kind of nostalgic events for me. Like Star City Shootout was one that I used to always go to as a pro back in the day. Texas State's VPO. I played in Alaska, obviously. A couple others that are slipping my mind, but yeah, no, it was a lot of fun to get back out and compete, and I'm just excited for this week, getting to play with a lot of my old buddies from back in the day, touring wise, and some of the people that we used to battle with, like Kale, who was just here a little bit ago. So I'm excited for that aspect of it for sure.
Well, let's follow that up with the same question about rivalries. As you said, you haven't been as competitive and playing as much, but we're, like you just said, so many of these buddies, people you have battled with for literally 20 years on various continents even. What do you think that means for the game and the MP40 side of things when we see some of these rivalries?
I think it's great, personally. Felberg's another one that I battled with. Geez, I think I met Dave back in 2000, probably. It's been a very long time. So, unfortunately, I've known him for a very, very long time. Take that with how you want. But, no, the rivalries have been great. It's just kind of like, I played doubles, like I kind of alluded to, and Felberg was on the card along with Martin Hindle. And it was like we were competitive again. It was like we were battling back in the day, obviously talking about, sharing our 300-foot hyzer lines as opposed to our, 400-foot hyzer lines or whatever it used to be, sharing Advil and sunscreen with each other. But other than that, it was great. It was like not missing a beat, getting in there and being just competitive with those guys again.
Well, and as you said, we're here again in your backyard. Emporia has been hosting so many big events, and that includes the Glass Blown Open, the Dynamic Disc Open, and a host of PDGA majors for all different ages. what does it mean when we come here to Emporia and talk about what it is for the city to embrace disc golf the way that they have?
I mean, it's the city, hands down the city. I mean, we have a disc golf superintendent that is hired on by the city, employed by the city, and paid by the city. That is his only job is to make sure that the courses look good, and that's why you're seeing, if you're out at Jones, you're seeing a lot of those updates on some of these new baskets that we're putting some limestone around and just kind of beautification projects kind of thing, and some new tees here and there. And you can't go anywhere and sit down at any restaurant here without someone knowing about disc golf, or especially this week, sitting down, hey, how you playing? Over at Doobie's is one of my favorite places to go. They've got a basket out front there. Pizza Ranch has a basket. I don't know if they're doing the Pizza Ranch one, but I know Doobie's does like a discount if you jam your putt after your meal, of course, after you go out there after your greasy fingers and try to make that big putt. But can't say enough positive things about the city of Emporia and what they've done for disc golf over the years. I mean, they've really embraced it. Every square inch of park property in town has a course on it, or at least a couple of baskets. So it's kind of unique.
It definitely is what I feel like keeps us coming back. And people say, we're going to Emporia, why is that? And you just answered that question. The way that we're fully accepted and embraced here is almost like no other city in the country or possibly in the world. As tough as it is, I try to keep up with your resume. And we talked about the competitive side. We've talked about a little bit, alluded to the course design, and then also Emporia State. You're also a coach.
Yeah.
And what has that meant for you in these last couple of years?
Oh, it's been so much fun, man. When I didn't really go to college, I guess. I went the other route and played disc golf, but I would have loved, I was at that age, I would have loved to have a scholarship to go play disc golf, which is just insane. So, I've told the story before, but we're under the athletic umbrella over at Emporia State University, meaning I report to the AD. So we have scholarships for every one of my players. We have budgets for travel. All of our entries are covered. All that fun stuff. So it's been an honor to work with them. And just last year we went out to, actually it was this year, but yeah, this year we went to the Nationals out in Rock Hill, South Carolina. So it was great for the guys to go out there and for me to be there too. Just to, I've played so many tournaments on that property, and just knowing what to do out there and what holes to attack and what holes to lay up on, and just being there as a source. It's been phenomenal, man. The Emporia State University gig is something that I never anticipated doing in my career, but then when I started doing it, man, it's been phenomenal. I wouldn't change it for anything. I've got some great recruits coming in this year that I'm super excited about. So they want to win a national title. That's what they want, and they're putting money in it. And I think that's kind of what the future looks like for college disc golf. There's a handful of other Seth Muncie's over at Boise State right now. You've got a couple others that are under the athletic umbrella, and the more colleges and universities that we can get on that bandwagon, I think the better for the sport.
So we've covered a little bit of course design in that conversation, competitive play, coaching. Dare I ask, what's your next disc golf goal?
Ooh.
In any realm, even if it's not related to those three.
It's not. Well, it kind of is, I guess. I've kind of, like you've alluded to, I've done a lot within this sport, within my career, but obviously knocking on the Hall of Fame's door would be a huge goal of mine. That's been a goal of mine for many, many years, something that I would be honored to be a part of. I was inducted into the Kansas Flying Disc Hall of Fame in their inaugural year, and we actually have a ceremony coming up this Friday where we're inducting some heavy hitters as well. And but to get in the Disc Golf Hall of Fame would be a check mark on my list. That would be pretty phenomenal. Aside from that, an EMac course in all 100 states would be another one that's going to be a little longer. It's going to take me a little longer to do that one, I think, than some of the other ones.
Wow. All right. So those are some big goals, but all seem very practical. I think we'd have to get them 2 in every state to get to 100 if you're looking at 50 to...
Oh, yeah.
We do the math.
No, did I say 100 states?
Yeah, I didn't know if you knew of more states. I know
there are actually more states than you know, Terry. I don't know if you've heard about South Kansas yet, but
I feel like Emporia should be its own state of disc golf because they certainly know it here.
The number 100 was in my head because of 100 wins too. That's another one that's
you're
kind of
knocking
on the
that
back
door.
burner, but it's not something that I'm like, that's not my number one goal. 50 states, Hall of Fame, and 100 wins. There you go.
I think you're sitting at 93. You're trying to get one closer this week.
Yes.
Everyone, that's your 2010 world champ, Eric McCabe. We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Terry.